I'd been planning for college since I was 13. I had color-coded folders for every university I dreamed of. I bookmarked scholarship sites, attended career fairs no one even required us to go to, and worked part-time jobs during weekends while other kids were out at movies or getting their nails done. Every time someone said, "You're such a planner," I'd smile and think, yes, because I have to be. Please subscribe to our channel and tell me in comments from where are you watching this video. My parents always said they had a college fund for me. They said it when I skipped prom to work overtime at the cafe. They said it when I got accepted into 3 of the top 5 universities I applied to. They said it again when I asked if I should start taking out student loans early, so I'm not overwhelmed later. And then the day came. I got into my dream school, the kind of place with red brick buildings, ivy-covered walkways, and professors who've written books I used in high school. I ran into the kitchen, breathless, holding the acceptance email up like it was a golden ticket. My mom barely looked up from her phone. My dad said, "Oh, wow, that's a fancy one." But no cheering, no proud hugs, just awkward silence. I asked softly, "So, can we start the paperwork for the college fund, the one you said you've been saving since I was little?" That's when they laughed. Not the good kind of laugh either. Not the joyful, "we're so happy" kind. It was the kind that makes your face burn. That hollow, dry kind of laugh that makes you feel stupid for asking in the first place. My mom said, "Sweetheart, that was more of a concept. You know, if we had extra money, we were going to put it aside." My dad added, "Yeah, we didn't think you'd actually go to a school that expensive." They said it with amused looks on their faces, like I had told a silly joke. And in that moment, I felt like I was 5 years old again, asking for something impossible, like I was asking them to buy me a unicorn. The next morning, my younger sister announced gleefully that she was getting a car. Not just any car. A brand new, shiny, cherry red SUV with leather seats and a Bluetooth system so she could play her music. Without wires, duh. She showed me pictures the dealership had sent. I didn't say anything at first. I wanted to believe it wasn't what it looked like. But then I saw the receipt on the kitchen counter 2 days later, fully paid, in cash, by my parents, and I just stood there, staring at the price tag. It was almost exactly the same amount as 1 year's tuition at my dream school. I thought about the years I spent saving coins in a jar, entering essay contests, babysitting bratty kids to earn $50. I thought about how they told me we just weren't in a place financially to help with college. And I thought about my sister, who hadn't even finished community college, revving her new engine in the driveway with sunglasses on like some discount influencer. She didn't even have a job, and still, she got rewarded for nothing. That night, I went into my room, sat at my desk, and stared at the acceptance email. I wanted to cry, but nothing came out. I was beyond crying. I felt hollow, like the breath had been punched out of my lungs. It wasn't just the money, it was the message. You don't matter as much as she does, and I knew then I had to do something, not to hurt them, but to show them, to remind them that I existed too, that I wasn't the quiet, compliant daughter they could just dismiss with a laugh. So I made a decision. A quiet one, a powerful one. The kind that doesn't involve yelling or slamming doors. I was going to rewrite the ending to this story. But they wouldn't see it coming. Not yet. I wish I could say things changed quickly after that moment, after I walked out of my childhood home and into the unknown. But the truth is, growth hurts. Healing hurts. And becoming your own person in a world that taught you to stay small is one of the most painful, liberating things you'll ever do. At first, everything felt foreign. I had no real financial safety net, no idea how to navigate adult life without my parents' backing. But I had a will, and sometimes that's all you need. My friend Mia's family didn't just offer me a place to sleep. They gave me something I hadn't felt in a long time: belief. Her dad printed out job applications with me and taught me how to negotiate wages. Her mom packed me lunches when I was rushing between shifts. It wasn't flashy support. It was the quiet kind, the kind that restores your soul. I started waking up at 5 a.m. to work the breakfast shift at the cafe. I studied in between orders, wrote essays late into the night, and filled out every scholarship application I could find. I worked 2 part-time jobs while tutoring local high school kids on the side. When others partied, I budgeted. When others spent money on Starbucks, I saved coins in a jar marked tuition. Please subscribe to our channel and tell me in comments from where are you watching this video. My parents? They barely called. When they did, it was awkward small talk. They'd ask, "So, still doing the coffee thing?" Or, "You're not really still thinking about college, are you?" Always with that dismissive edge, like dreaming bigger was cute but unrealistic. But I kept pushing. One night, while scrolling through scholarship forums, I found a unique opportunity. A program by a private donor looking to fund a student who had overcome significant family neglect. You had to submit a video essay. I stared at the application for hours. I almost didn't do it, but something inside me said, "They already wrote your story. Time to write your own." I turned my little borrowed bedroom into a makeshift studio. I recorded the video with a stack of books holding up my phone. No filters, no fancy editing, just my story. I talked about what it felt like to be invisible in your own family, to ask for help and be laughed at, to want something so badly and be told you're not worth the investment. I ended with this line: "You don't need people to believe in your dream if you believe in your fight." 2 weeks later, I got the email. I won $50,000. It wasn't just a scholarship, it was full tuition, living expenses, and a stipend for books and supplies. I cried so hard, Mia had to pull me into a hug and remind me to breathe. That moment rewired my brain. Not because I got the money, but because, for the first time, the universe had whispered, "You are enough." I enrolled in college the following semester. My parents didn't even know I'd started. I didn't send photos, I didn't post about it. I focused on becoming the version of myself they never bothered to imagine. My major? Psychology, with a focus on family dynamics. I guess I wanted to understand why people hurt the ones closest to them, and more importantly, how to break the cycle. In my second year, something unexpected happened. A podcast that had picked up my video essay invited me to share more of my story. It went viral. People messaged me saying things like, "You gave me hope," and "I didn't think anyone else knew what this felt like." But the wildest message came from someone I hadn't spoken to in months. My sister. She wrote, "I had no idea. I'm so sorry. I thought they were helping me because I was doing better than you. But now I see it was because I was easier to control." I stared at that text for a long time. And as much as I wanted to be angry, I also felt relief. Not everything needs a villain. Sometimes we're all just trying to survive with the tools we're given. Eventually, I sat down with my parents, not out of forgiveness, out of power. I wanted them to see the woman I became without them. My mom cried. My dad looked like someone had punched him in the gut. I told them I didn't hate them, I just learned to stop needing them. And that was the most painful truth of all. I walked out of that house not bitter, but free. Years later, I graduated top of my class. I bought myself a used car with my own money. Not flashy, but mine. I even got accepted into a graduate program in counseling and family therapy, fully funded. At my graduation, Mia and her parents were in the front row, holding back tears and waving like I was a superstar. My biological family wasn't there. And that was okay. Sometimes family isn't who you're born to, it's who shows up when everyone else walks away. I now counsel teens and young adults who feel forgotten, unheard, unloved. And I tell them the same thing I wish someone had told me at 17. Your story doesn't end with being underestimated, that's just where the fire begins. And as for my sister, she sold the car 2 years later, needed the money for therapy. Funny how things come full circle.